Hey everyone, welcome back to the video. I hope you all are doing great. Well, remember those neon profile background that you were able to put in your bio, or those angsty music that you were able to put it in your bio, or those endless friend requests that you used to get? Well, today we dive down our memory lane and talk about a platform which literally dominated in the early 2000s. Yes, you guessed it right. We are going to talk about MySpace. So, without wasting more time, let's get started.
MySpace was one of the first social networking sites to reach mass adoption. It was worth $12 billion and outranked Google as the most visited website on the internet. It was the place to be and took the world by storm.
I like MySpace a lot. It's a friendly environment to me. I meet a lot of new friends. It's a great place to share music, videos.
But I think every page you go to has got graphics and flashy stuff to catch your eye.
Everyone had a MySpace account, and they were all eager to find out what these new social networks were about. And then, all of a sudden, people just stopped using it.
But MySpace always felt different. When it went live in 2003, it fused the sulky alternative aesthetics of Web 1.0 networking/hookup platform Makeout Club with the vast membership base of Friendster. For indie kids of all stripes, the formula proved irresistible. True to its name, the endlessly customizable platform allowed users to curate profiles that looked more like poster-covered bedroom walls.
Thanks, Mike. Deputies in the Keys say MySpace led them to a suspect.
Those of you who were teenagers or tweeners in the early 2000s probably remember MySpace, the big dog in town before Facebook came along to steal its thunder.
MySpace was once the most visited website on the internet, even outranking Google. But in 2004, the MySpace founders had a meeting with a young guy named Mark Zuckerberg who was offering to sell them his website, which was then called the Facebook.
So, let's talk about how it all began, right? Well, in 2003, young Tom Anderson wanted to connect with people, or mainly wanted his college mates to connect with each other. Like how today a song gets uploaded and gets viral, similar was the condition for MySpace. It allowed each and every user on its platform to have a separate space with many features like profile customization, profile creation, music sharing, and also connecting with your friends, and also those whom you don't even know. Well, before we move into the core concept of understanding how MySpace rose and what is the main purpose of MySpace, or how did MySpace work, let's understand, or let's have a glimpse into the early social media network, right? Because that's where it all starts from. It is the groundwork where everything happens, and that's how these kind of platforms come up. So let's talk about it. Believe it or not, MySpace wasn't the first platform that attempted to connect people all around the world. There were other platforms on the block, but it did lack a few features which ultimately paved the way for MySpace to rise. So let's talk about them. First of all was 6 Degree in the year 1997. This platform launched with the concept of connecting with 6 people or less, where you could create profile, connect with your friends, and also see the degree of separation from. It is like whom those people whom you would not want to. But this platform did have some of the disadvantage. First of all, it did not allow you to customize your profile or your many other things as much as possible. Second thing, it did not allow you to have multimedia upload or multimedia feature where you could upload many things like content or any other things. This two things made the platform lose its attention. Second one, or another platform, was Friendster in the year 2002. This platform is also known as the closer cousin to MySpace, as it did allow for creation of profile, and also customizing your profile. Apart from these, it allowed you to connect with your friends and also share multimedia content or multimedia feature too. These all features put together was giving you like a personal experience to you. It was giving that exact platform which is perfect enough for you to connect with your friends and have those perfect time to chat or whatever you would like to do. Well, there were problems that this platform did have too. First of all was security issue. When you talk about any social media platform, the first question that comes up is it safe? Whatever you're trying to do on the social media, is it going to be safe enough so that we can share our thoughts or whatever we want to? Well, security issue was the first concern. Second thing, the company could really not scale. This ultimately paved the way for MySpace to come in. Now, before we go to the concept of MySpace, let's not forget these two platforms, because these two platforms were the main reason or had those groundwork of concepts like profile creation, or maybe connecting with your friends, or even have communities, which ultimately led MySpace to build upon all of these concepts and rise in the mid 2000s. Now let's talk about MySpace. Now MySpace wasn't just a normal platform or a normal website. It was a cultural phenomena. But what made it so special, right? Well, there were three key features which made this platform a cultural phenomena in the mid 2000s. First of all, customized galore. It allowed users to customize their profile as much as possible, allowing you to put that favorite profile background to yourself. Remember those neon backgrounds or that glitter text, or even those embedded codes floating here and there? Well, it allowed its users to customize its profile like any other platform. Definitely, it was a far cry from all the other platforms which attempted to help users to create their profile. Second one was the soundtrack of their life. Leave playlist. MySpace allowed its users to embed their favorite song onto their bio from the popular music service platforms. Assume that you liked some early 2000 pop music and you felt that it really expresses you. Well, you could legit embed that music onto your bio. Lastly was beyond just your friends. Now all the other platforms attempted to connect with your friends, or it tried to attempt those people whom you don't know. But MySpace was different. It not just allowed you to connect with your BFs, but also attempted you to, or gave you the option to join communities, or get those like-minded people, or join other interests which you would like. It is like you have a particular interest and there's a community. You could legit join that community if you liked it. Maybe there's a popular guy whom you follow and you want to join his community. Well, MySpace did allow that. Well, all of these features put together allowed people to come to the platform of MySpace. How? Well, it allowed you to represent yourself. Let's talk about profile, the profile customization for instance. MySpace gave you the opportunity to customize your profile as much as possible, which indirectly tells how you can express yourself or your online persona onto the platform. Also, if you consider the soundtrack of your life, it tried to attempt to connect, or maybe express yourself onto the platform. Well, these things really made the platform boom as much as possible, and not just these, there were more than these. So all of these put together really bore that cultural phenomena. They say it as the cultural phenomena or the golden age of this platform. Well, how though? Well, in 2000 or in the mid 2000, this platform was like a flaming, or those viral song, as I said before. How a song is released and it goes viral, that was exactly at this point of time. Anything that would happen on the platform would literally go viral. And that is how this cultural phenomena became a huge thing. Believe it or not, this platform was an early stage for few of the artists. Artists like Arctic Monkeys and Lily Allen found their first audience or their initial audience on this platform. This phenomena literally brought people together and understand themselves because it gave you that personal touch for you. But as they say, it's not always sunshine and rainbow, right? The year 2011.
Probably by 2006.
Yeah.
I think we were the biggest site on the internet, like bigger
Really?
than Google, bigger than Yahoo.
So you were number one, like Alexa ranking.
Yeah, I don't remember what day it was, but I remember when we got the news, I'm like, I can't fathom that we're bigger than Google.
Before seeing how many followers someone had on Twitter, before worrying how many people liked your most recent Instagram photo, before seeing how many people saw your latest snap, before Facebook was even a thing, there was MySpace.com.
How many per day? How many people per day come on this social networking portal?
It's really become the first worldwide community that's out there, but we're adding about 300,000 new people a day.
How many friends do you officially have now?
I think we're up to 175 million.
For your official friends?
Yeah.
MySpace was more than just a social networking website.
Facebook, on the other hand, had initially only allowed people with verified college email addresses to join their platform, which had helped give the site a feeling of exclusivity and hype. It wasn't until 2005 that Facebook had dropped its requirement of a college email address and opened Facebook to the whole world. Plus, in contrast to MySpace, Facebook had venture capital funding and was thinking more long term. They operated more like a fast-moving startup, as they didn't have the same kind of bureaucracy and corporate bosses demanding advertising targets be hit. As Facebook started to gain more momentum, it was soon clear that Facebook and MySpace were in very direct competition, and that there was only going to be one winner in this war for attention.
So, how did it all begin? A platform that was such a huge thing, now coming to a downfall. What was the main reason, right? Well, there are three main reasons. Let's understand one by one. First of all, MySpace focused on connections rather than innovation. While MySpace completely gave its time on profile optimization or upgrading your profile or making it better, on the other hand, Facebook was trying to make their interface better, trying to shift towards mobile interfaces, and trying to make as much as interface efficiency as possible. More likely, like adding news feeds onto the platform. This literally made Facebook much more better than MySpace. Second thing, spam and security issue. As I said before, if you talk about social media platform, the major key thing is how you protect yourself from spam and all the security issues that you get. Remember I told you about Friendster in the year 2002, how it faced the security issues. Similarly was the case of MySpace in the year of 2011. There were a lot of fake accounts, lot of spamming happening. It was like a bucket of fake profiles and spam stuff going on, and also security issue. For instance, assume that you have a ton of ads going around with you on the platform. It does give you a question mark on your data that you have, the personal data onto the platform. It is the security issue of your data. It's not that welcoming to the platform, right? Well, that was the problem of MySpace with the spam and security issue. Third one was focused more on connection rather than customization. Where now that MySpace understood that you need to forge as much as connection as possible, it tried to forget what could be done with innovation to be brought inside. It literally did not keep up with the point at that period of time, is what we can say. Whereas Facebook tried to innovate its platform as much as possible and keep its connection as less as possible. Maybe you can say try to keep it only till the friends and family. And that's exactly what people liked at that time. Rather than people going to a platform where you can connect with random people whom you have not even met before and join communities without knowing its true value. Well, Facebook really didn't focus on these many things in the initial stages, but it did focus on how you could connect to your family, your friends, and that's how Facebook kept a leg up from MySpace. Now, these all put together was somewhere bringing to the downfall of MySpace. But that was not it. Now that we are talking about Facebook, let's talk about it too, right? They say this as the seized opportunity. Well, Facebook actually saw how the market is going and disrupted it. How though? Well, there are three main reasons. First of all is understanding what is needed and keeping it clean. Facebook saw that MySpace was filled with spam and fake profiles. It first of all reduced all of those and kept its interface clean as much as possible, keeping up with news and updates from their connections. Second was the most crucial decision which Facebook took, and that's why today Facebook is leading in the market, and that was mobile interface shift. Facebook saw that people are shifting towards mobile interface, and it knew that if we don't shift towards this, people wouldn't recognize our platform, or someone else will. Well, that's exactly how Facebook focused on mobile interface and became a mobile interface oriented browsing platform, whereas MySpace actually left and kept itself on desktop oriented rather than shifting towards this. Last is constantly evolving. MySpace major problem was not being adapting to the situation, whereas Facebook saw there were a lot of opportunity, but it did not enter as quickly as possible. It first focused on grabbing those audience and then giving those features or products. It brought up many other products such as Facebook groups, Facebook events, marketplace, and many more. It was like, all the tools which a person would like to have on the platform. Lastly, let's talk about this final blow, or we can say it as a mistake that everyone will be remembering it from a platform. The giant MySpace of the mid 2000 actually in the year 2005 gave an lucrative offering to Facebook. But they say, right, some people really don't understand the full potential of the platform. MySpace ignored and declined the offer of which they itself gave it to Facebook. They thought that Facebook is not going to be as dominant as how MySpace was. But who knew in the upcoming days, Facebook is going to be far more ahead than MySpace. And that's exactly what happened after a few days. After the offer was declined by the giant MySpace, Facebook was far away from MySpace in terms of user count on their platform. Can be told as a fatal mistake from MySpace. Hadn't they not declined that, today they would have been a market leading company, or today what we know Facebook as. Well, this is what happens when you misunderstand certain opportunity or certain things that come into your life. Coming to the end of this video, all I can say is, even though MySpace was a failure in the upcoming days, it really gave that impact what no one could imagine in the early 2000s. As said before, 6 Degree and Friendster were like a early block on connecting people. But today, if we know social network as how it is because of MySpace too. It created that impact because of which other social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and all the other platforms have developed on. What we can learn is never ever underestimate of adapting to the situation. And there are been examples like these. Imagine Kodak. That's also a biggest example for this. Well, always focus on your users. Focus on the people who come to your platform. Look where they are going and go according to them. Be a user-oriented platform rather than what you would want to do. Because where people like to go, that's where the platform goes, as they say it. So you need to adapt to it as much as possible. Lastly, don't underestimate whatever opportunity comes ahead. As I said before, if MySpace had not declined it, today they would have been the biggest market capture of social networking also, maybe. Who knows? So this is all what we got for this particular topic of MySpace. We would like to know, what does this mean to you? What did you learn from this video? What did you learn from, let's not talk about the video, let's talk about this platform itself, MySpace. What are those things that would you keep in mind when you are bringing up your platform, or if you're working for a platform? Well, do let me know in the comment section. Coming to the end, all I can say is, if you're a person who likes these kind of topics, we create blogs like this on different topics like, stocks or businesses or case studies or etc. Topics too. You can check that out. I will drop the link in the description. Make sure to check it out. And we do give the option of downloading it. It will definitely help you a lot if you have any case study research or anything. So make sure to check it out. Coming to the end, all I can say is, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.